Hello everyone, I am Dr. Sheba Joseph, Professor at the Department of Social Work, BHOPAL School of Social Sciences. Today we will talk about the principles of social group work. Let's see what are principles. Principles are fundamental truth or foundation for a system of belief. So, we are practicing the principles of social group work in order to make the group work more effective. Over the years of time, we learned it from the ethics, we have developed the principles through our values as well as from the practitioners, from their observation as well as experience. So, with the help of all these efforts over the years, we have come to developing the different principles of social group work. Now, today I will be dealing with the principles which are proposed by H.B. Trecker. So, Trecker has given 10 principles of social group work. The first principle is principle of planned group formation, second one is principle of specific objectives, third one is principle of purposeful worker group relationship, the fourth one is principle of continuous individualization, followed by that principle of guided group interaction, and then the principle of democratic group self-determination, the principle of flexible functional organization, then the principle of progressive program experience, then the principle of resource utilization and the principle of evaluation. We will take these principles one by one. Planning is very important in social group work practice. So, let us talk about the principle of planned group formation. We all know that the group is the basic unit through which the service is provided to the individual. Consequently, the agency and the worker is very much responsible in the formation of the group. Now, when you are forming the group, you will have to decide what kind of group you are going to form. Is it a group for children? Is it a group of adolescents or an SHG group or a group work in a different setup or a group of elderly population? So, planning is very much important based upon the agency, based on the objectives you are trying to formulate the group. So, planning is very much important in social group work practice. And one more point that we all have to understand, already framed groups must be aware of the factors inherent in the group situation. Now, in this context, you are not going to work with a new group. A group is already existing and you are going to take that group forward. So, the context of that group needs to be clear to each one of us, at the same time the social group worker also, so that this group experience could make a positive potential for individual growth and for meeting recognizable needs. So, that is principle of planned group formation. Now, moving on to the next principle, it is principle of specific objectives. So, objectives are very much relevant in social group work practice. Specific objectives of individual and group must be developed very consciously and it must be formulated by the worker on the basis of the needs of the group. So, there are 3 to 4 points which we have to keep in mind. Whenever you are developing an objective, it should consider the needs of the individual, needs of the group and needs of the agency as well. And on the basis of this, the social group worker need to come to a common consensus and develop the group objectives, or we call it as specific objectives. And one more important component which we have to keep in mind when we are formulating or when we are applying this principle of specific objective is that the objectives should be SMART. S-M-A-R-T. That means S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A means attainable, R means realistic or relevant and T means time bound. So, in total, while formulating the specific objectives, your objectives has to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant or realistic, and at the same time it should have a time bound as well. Now, the third principle of social group work, it is principle of purposeful worker group relationship. It is very imperative to have a very conscious relationship needs to be built between the group worker and the group members, because they have to work together. This is a journey where the group worker would be motivating the group members to achieve their goals and objectives. So, a consciously purposeful relationship must be established between the worker and the group members as well as between the group members also, so that they can very effectively work in this journey of social group work practice. And now, the next principle is principle of continuous individualization. We all know that groups are different, the individuals are also different. So, they have to utilize the group experience in a ways to meet their different needs. So, the different experiences that they are getting, say the group has got an objective, plus the individual members also, due to certain reasons they have joined the group. So, they have specific set of individual goals or objectives as well. So, every experience that they get in the group should be utilized in a variety of means to meet this different needs, so that they can achieve their goal, individual goal as well as the group goals will become realistic. So, that is the principle of continuous individualization speaks about. Now, moving on to the next principle, it is the principle of democratic group self-determination. Now, the group must be helped to make its own decisions and determine its own objectives. The ultimate goal of this group work practice itself is to make the individuals independent enough to be competent in the society. So, the group should be able to take its own decision. Here the worker is promoting the group members or the group as a whole to take its decisions and determine its own objectives, but a great support would be given from the side of the social group worker. And the primary source of control over the group is group itself. See, the group worker may not be controlling them, but at times through guided group interaction, through his experience, he would be helping the group to take decisions or to have a firm determination in all the activities. Now, the next principle is principle of flexible functional organization. The principle of flexible functional organization states that the group guides, the group worker is guiding the group in setting up formal organization, and it is just as important as an actual structure details of that organization. Although there are very formal rules which are set up in social group work practice, but we have to create a flexibility when we are performing the group work task. It should not be so rigid where the group members will not be able to follow. A functional setup should be there, structure should be clear, but at the same time you need to think that individuals are playing a pivotal role here. So, they also be given chance to perform in a very flexible manner. The principle of progressive program experiences. See, when the group improves from stage 1 to stage 2, stage 2 to stage 3, the level, based on the level of the members' interest, their needs, experience and competence, the activities should be lined in that way, or the activities also should be organized, or the activities should be planned in that way. In stage 1, more or less the social group worker will be promoting them to perform very many activities, and he would be giving a huge, if we calculate a range of hand holding to the group workers. But when they reach the second stage or third stage, they have reach the second level and become more confident to take up the responsibilities. But whenever they are moving from stage 1 to stage 2 or stage 2 to stage 3, based on the interest of the group members, their needs as well as experience and competence, the activities should be designed so that there will be growth and development, or growth and development could be ensured. Now, the next principle is principle of resource utilization. Resource utilization is very important in social group work context. Here the resources are, the group itself is a resource, the group members are resources, and the resources which are available in the community and the resources which are available in the agency are also considered to be resources. So, the total environment of the agency and community possess resources which has to be utilized to enrich the content of group experiences. So, whatever resources are available, the group worker and the group members should optimally utilize. So, the term optimal utilization is very, very important here. Optimally utilize the resources so that the group can lead to a stage of great improvement, or there will be development in the group. And the last principle is principle of evaluation. See, evaluation is a very, very important stage as well as important process in any practice, any methods which we are doing in social work. So, evaluation helps us to understand what are the reasons for success, what are the reasons for failure also. And principle of evaluation states that there should be evaluation for the process, every stage there should be evaluation, for every program of social group work activity there should be evaluation. In terms of the outcome, whatever outcome you are expecting, see, you have objectives, you have expected outcome also. How far you are able to achieve the objective in terms of the outcome outlined, that is very important. That will help the smooth going of social group work practice from one stage to another. There the individuals would experience development, improvement, in terms of their individual growth. At the same time, the group will be, there will be an overall development in the group as well. So, in short, we have discussed about the principles proposed by H.B. Trecker today in this module, and 10 principles were proposed that were discussed in detail. In the next video, we will come with a new topic. Thank you all.